Hello, this is Edward Lepcha, and good morning to all the students. And I hope to find you all in good health during this pandemic. And obviously, firstly, I would like to welcome all of you to the first year of Rockville Management College, first semester of Rockville Management College. And I think all the other online classes, recorded classes, have also started on YouTube, and you can scroll through the playlist. You can look up the different subjects that are available. There's different videos that are being uploaded into YouTube, and this particular video, okay, and my particular subject for this semester is computer fundamentals. Okay, and computer fundamentals deals with nothing but the basics of computer. Okay, and as you know, computer is being used in all the departments in the current scenario. Let's say, be it the banking department, be it the management department, be it the housekeeping department, or the front desk department, or hospitals or colleges. Anyway, any department or any let's say work or any job that you see is linked to a computer. So eventually you have taken hotel management course, and hotel management course also requires you to understand the concepts of a computer. Okay, so let's start with the basic definition of a computer. Let me remind you that some may be technologically very advanced in this, meaning to say that some may be well versed in using the computer, some may be very new to it. So the ones who are well versed, please bear with the ones who are very not very well introduced with the concepts of computers. So we will be starting from scratch. Okay, so basically let's start with the definition of a computer. Okay, so as we know, in general, let's say for example, okay, in general, to you and to me, first and foremost, when they ask what is a computer, okay, we have this image in mind. Okay, and this image comes to mind. Just give me a second. What comes to mind is this. This is nothing but a desktop computer where it has a keyboard. It has the keyboard being this. Okay, it has a central processing unit, or normally we say this is a cabinet where all the motherboard, all the processors are inserted into it. Okay, inserted or assembled into it. Okay, and this is nothing but the desktop or the monitor where the display comes. Okay, so eventually when we come across the word, or when we come across the term computer, we definitely visualize this in our mind. Okay, so basically when we try to define a computer, first and foremost, we know that this is an electronic device. Electronic device in the sense that, let's see, for example, without electricity this machine cannot run. Okay, it requires electricity to actually execute itself or to run. So basically, first and foremost, we need to remember that a computer is an electronic device, meaning that it runs via electricity. Without electricity, your computer cannot execute or it cannot run. That is the first point that we will have to remember. The second point, while defining a computer, we always have to remember is that a computer takes instructions. Okay, so that means when I talk about instructions, so that means this computer cannot run by itself. Okay, it basically means that it requires someone to give it a command or give it a direction, or in computer terminology, we say that a computer requires instructions to be given out by the user being you or me. So let's say, for example, when I type something using this keyboard, okay, so that means this keyboard is acting as an input device from where the user can give instructions or user can give command to this computer. And this central processing unit, what does it do? And this particularly cabinet. Inside the cabinet, we have the brain of the computer, or basically known as the CPU, or the central processing unit. This CPU does what? It takes the instructions given out by the user and tries to process it. Process in this case means that it tries to execute whatever the user has given it. Okay, whatever the user has given. Okay, so that means via this keyboard, or this keyboard, keep in mind it is known as an input device. Okay, later on, later in later videos, we will see what are input devices, what are output devices, what is the concept of the central processing unit and all that. Okay, but for the definition of a computer, just remember that this keyboard right now acting as an input device from where the user give instructions, a command are given to it through this keyboard or the mouse. Okay, and instructions are given, and those instructions are then executed by the processing unit that is inside this cabinet. Okay, so that means we are talking about two things right now. Okay, the input and the processing part. After a certain instruction has been given, it should be executed or it should be processed by the computer, and processing is done over here inside the cabinet where the central processing unit or the CPU is present. Now, after these two steps are completed, then obviously when an execution is completed or when the processing is completed, then obviously what does the user expect is nothing but the result of that processing or result of that execution. That is where we come across the third point of the definition of a computer. So that means that after processing or after execution, what is expected? Obviously the result, or in this case the terminology that we use is a output. Okay, so that means the user gives instructions as the input, the instructions are being processed, whatever instructions are being given out by the user, it needs to be executed. When the input has been executed, a certain result is being produced. Okay, and that result is nothing but the output, which is displayed via output devices. Okay, and the monitor is a perfect output, is the most common output device. Okay, where the results are displayed and the user can see the result of the instructions that he has given. Okay, that is the basic in general definition of a computer. Okay, so basically what we did, we defined computer as an electronic device. Electronic meaning that it runs through electricity. Without electricity it cannot function. The next thing, or the next three important points that you have to remember, is the concept of input, processing and output. Okay, so that means the computer being an electronic device, it cannot run by itself. That we'll have to remember. If it doesn't run by itself, then what does it need? It needs an external factor. The external factor in this case being a user. Okay, the user will give instructions or it commands the computer to do something. And how does it do that? By using input devices. Okay, through the help of input devices, for example keyboard or mouse, instructions or commands are being given out. Okay, then those input or those instructions will get executed or it will get processed by whom? By the CPU. Okay, the CPU will process the instruction given out by you or given out by the user. So obviously after instruction has been given, then what happens? A result needs to be produced for the respected input that has been given out by the user. So eventually this result is nothing but the output which will be showed or which will be displayed to the user. Okay, via what? Output devices. And the most common output devices examples are, you have the monitor or the screen that is in front of you. Okay, or the other most common output device is nothing but a printer. Okay, then I think this particular definition of a computer is the most basic definition of a computer, and I think it clears out whatever a computer does, and I think it justifies what a computer is. Okay, now you being in the hotel management department, you must be wondering what is the importance of a computer in the hotel management department, or the hotel management category. Okay, so for this, the next slide shows you what, before doing all the basics of computer, we must understand what the importance of computers in hotel industry. Okay, so first and foremost, let's look at booking and reservation. Let's say, for example, you and your family, you want to go to Siliguri, or you want to go to let's say Gangtok, or you want to go to Sikkim, or anywhere else in the world. Okay, and right now you have what, certain applications, software applications, or you have different websites that are available where you can go and use a computer to actually make what, bookings for yourself for a particular date, where you would travel with your family or with your friends and stay at that locality or stay at that location. Let's say, for example, tomorrow I want to go to Siliguri and I do not have any place to stay. So before I go to Siliguri, I will look up, let's say, for example, the example that I took up here is Make My Trip. Okay, and you can install this in your mobile phone, or you can go to the Make My Trip website, which looks like this. Okay, and you can go here and see the second option that we have here. We have flights, we have hotels, we have villas, we have holidays, we have trains. Everything is available right here due to the present technology. So if I want to go to Siliguri, and if I don't have any place to stay, I can always switch on my computer and I can go to this part, that is the hotels part, and which area, which locality I want to stay in Siliguri, I can click that option and I can find the hotels that are available over there. And according to the photographs, according to the feedbacks, according to the ratings, and according to the budget that I have, I can always select or reserve, okay, or book the hotel that I want to stay in when I go to Siliguri. Okay, a prime example of this is Make My Trip. And next example that I have is booking.com. Okay, booking.com also serves the same purpose, that is, when you're traveling somewhere, when you are going somewhere either to Gangtok or Calcutta or Delhi, if you have no idea about the hotels out there, earlier what used to happen is that, let's say, for example, if earlier technology was not present over at that point of time. Okay, after the boom of the internet, what happened was all this technology came into existence. Okay, so right now what I can do is, if I don't know anyone in Delhi, okay, at this point of time I can always look up to the website and find out hotels that are present in a certain locality that I want to go and stay over at Delhi. Let's say, for example, I want to stay near the airport area, so obviously I can go to this website booking.com, find hotels that are located in that particular area, that is near the airport, and according to that, according to the budget, according to the feedback, according to the ratings, according to the photographs, according to the cleanliness, okay, according to what I see, I can make arrangements and I can book myself a hotel from my own computer or my own mobile at this point of time. Okay, so that is one advantage of having, let's say, for example, computers. So it helps in booking and reservations. Earlier what used to happen is that, by word of mouth, you knew someone, you go to a hotel, I'm a relative of this man, or my friend recommended this hotel to me, so I'm going over there. So that means you only relied on what someone else told to you. Okay, you had not seen it with your eyes, or you had not experienced it earlier, but someone else told you that this hotel was good and you went to that hotel. You might not find it that good also, according to your opinion, but that was before technology was available. Now technology is available, you have computers in your hand, you have smartphones in your hand. So at that point, at this point of time, what happens is that you can make bookings and reservations from your own household at any point of time. Okay, so bookings and reservations you can do at any point of time, sitting anywhere in the world, and you can book or reserve your hotels or your rooms anywhere in the world. That is one advantage. Okay, the next thing that we have is the concepts of what, uh, using computers to actually record customer details. Okay, Let's say for example, let's take the example of pantaloons, or let's take the example of Big Bazaar. When you go to Siliguri, let's say when you here the prime example of malls that I'm using. Okay, so I went to Siliguri, I went to Pantaloons, and I bought, let's say, for example, a certain clothing for myself. Okay, so when I go to the counter, what does the sales executive say to me at that point of time is that they want me to, let's say, fill out the details because they have a card for me. Okay, the Pantaloons card or the Big Bazaar card. Okay, and they ask for my details, and I fill up the details and I give it to them. Okay, what am I doing at this point of time? I'm giving out my details to them. And what does the card do? All the details are punched into the card. All the details are transferred into the card, and that card stores all my information. That is my name, my phone number, my email address, and what I shopped. Okay, and using this customer record, they will send me information in the future about what kind of products are available. Okay, you have already given out your email address, you have already given out your phone number. At this point of time, they will use this customer record to attract customers in the future via SMSs or via WhatsApp messages. Okay, so you are getting the idea. Okay, the importance of having customer record. Similarly, in the hotel industry also, whenever you log into, or whenever you check into certain hotels, they ask for details. And let's say, for example, good hotels, 5-star hotels or 7-star hotels that you see, they keep the record, and in the future, whenever they are giving discounts on certain rooms, when you are a regular customer of them, and let's say, for example, you are a frequent business, you frequently visit their hotel for business purposes. Okay, so let's say, for example, if there is any discount in the future, using this customer record, they can send you details about the discount that is available, and when they are giving, let's say, for example, 50% discount, 100% discount, this is used for them and this is used for that. Okay, let's see the example of a customer record. And this point of time, let's say, for example, this is a particular template or an example of how customer details are recorded in the hotel industry. They are keeping all the details. Particularly, the most important thing that they keep here is the email address and the phone number where they can actually contact you. So you are getting the idea in this case. Okay, next is the importance on when let's say, for example, I call a hotel. Okay, and I say that this is the date I want to book my rooms at this point of time. So at this point of time, a system, the receptionist, they can learn, or the booking agent, they can look at the availability of rooms. Let's say, for example, look at this example. Okay, what you see here is I have a guest, let's say, for example, Johan Candy, who wants to come in. Okay, they are arriving, and a calendar is present over here where everything else is booked, but the highlighted dates that you see, that is on the 12th, on the 15th, on the 18th, on the 21st, on the 27th, and the 38th. These are the dates where the rooms will be available and everything else is booked. So this information is kept by a system, and it becomes a very easy task for the receptionist to keep tag or to keep track of which rooms are booked in the future, which rooms will be empty. Okay, so you're getting the idea. Okay, next thing is the concept of using computers to actually print out bills and invoices after your stay. Okay, let's see, for example, look at this example. We have the bill of Hotel Sunny Hills, and we can see here they used two double bedrooms, and they used a mud bath, and they had a massage at this point of time, and they paid and they went. This is the concept. This is a printout or a hard copy of the billing information or the invoice. Okay, so you get the idea at this point of time. Okay, and next, let's say, for example, within the hotel, we can always order food and beverages. Okay, and food and beverages can be ordered, let's say, for example, online or through the telecom service that they have. And this is the way in which they keep a record of which room ordered what. Okay, in this case, see an example of this. We have record count 1, we have section 1, room number can be given over here, which room number ordered what product or what food from the time they stayed at that hotel. So you get the idea. All the records are kept by the system, and when you check out, all the system will produce the bill according to whatever you had ordered. That means the room rate, the food that you ordered, and all that. Okay. The next thing is supplies and stock records. Okay, for example, let's say your hotel has the hotel has a kitchen. Okay, uh, in the kitchen section, let's say for example they bring in let's say for example it's not that I come to the room and I order, and the kitchen tells the helper to go and get the particular food items. It's not like that. They have already kept a stock of whatever items that they are going to sell in that particular hotel. So eventually they will have a record of what supplies and stocks, okay, in their system. So eventually here I can see that let's say for example here I can see pepperoni pizzas, Coca-Colas, Fantas, the number and the quantity that is available, how much was used, how much is left, what I have to order, what is finished, and all that. All that will be kept in the system, and the system might give out a warning that the supplies are running out, you have to go and buy certain products and all that. So this is a very useful example of computers being used in supply and stock records of a hotel, of the hotel industry. Okay. Next is computers can always be used in giving out presentations, making PowerPoint presentations, or creating reports, or let's say for example writing letters or drafting letters, or giving out in let's say grievances or reports or itineraries to the guest. Okay, you get the idea. Okay. And the next point that we have is uh, particularly one particular important use of computers is the concept of advertisements, the concept of creating content for your hotels, and using the computers to actually distribute that advertisement, where in social medias or in different platforms or via emails and all that. Okay, for example, let's take an example of, let's say, hotel Mount Everest. Okay, at this point of time what I can understand from this poster is that I have a hotel which is named Mount Everest, and looking at the hotel I can see that this hotel has a panoramic view of, or it has a scenic view of Mount Everest in the backdrop. Okay, Mount Everest or Mount, here it is given Kanchenjunga. Okay, and it has pine views. Pine tree is surrounding the hotel. Okay, so this is a particular example of, let's say for example, using computers to create what advertisements or posters or designs for a particular hotel. So you're getting the idea of, let's say for example, different uses of a computer in the hotel industry. Okay, so I think we will keep the lecture till here for today, and we will continue in the next class from here itself. Okay, thank you so much.